I woke up a while ago, lying in a bed that is not mine. A bed too comfortable, even for a place like this. I remember travelling all night, tied to the back of a red dragon. Silence was mandatory. One of these men covered my mouth violently when we passed close to my father's guard, who patrols the paths looking for me. I cannot know how much time has passed. Someone left me a plate with food on the floor. I have not touched it, nor do I intend to. My chances of escape are reduced to the window, which has a slope of no less than 200 feet. There also is the huge door that condemns me to this room. It is threateningly huge, and I am just as big as one of its cracks. I have tried to force it, but it appears to me that this requires a key as big as my hand. After many attempts, I eventually felt exhausted. I had not dreamed for a long time. At the palace, I remember having trouble sleeping at night. Down here, I am able to abandon myself to all sorts of frozen visions that come to see me. They take me far away, to the land of frost, to the marine world, and to the abyss of flame. And I see him, my prince, crawling due to all the sacrifice and the heat, alighting on hills, wiping his boots, and moving towards me through the fog, crossing many strange creatures and plants. Any path to where I am must be so long, all the books which talk about it will be lying. I came out of the trance, trembling. Down, deep down in the grass field, the generals of the Duke were awaiting my love. I have heard the guards talking about 5 huge and monstrous men, so rich they have lost their teeth and can only eat fresh meat from their servants. Some of them are whispering, whereas others are throwing stones and great balls of fire from their eyes. All I can hear are howls that seep to my window and enter in my bad dreams. Alas, gods who observe from above, please lead my prince to where I am. I will pray thee every day to assure his safe advent, and to avenge all the evil the Duke has perpetrated. If my prince has not arrived by tomorrow, I will pray again. Listen to me, I beg you. Today, I hitched up my dress and sat on the edge of the window. I merely wanted to spoil the beauty clouds bring. They are covering the top of the tower, proving they are in favour of the words of the Duke as well. This is the same. If I stare at these clouds and try to reach the other side with my eyes, I inevitably feel as if someone is staring back. Maybe it is the hand of God that moves us and folds like a piece or embellished wooden figurines. Good Lord, if only I knew that the prince has found me. If only I knew he is now looking at the lit skies. We are at war, watching me. I am not alone. Every minute spent here, tiny sounds spring from almost everywhere. The dark crunch of the bed, a cockroach, almost beautiful, slipping through an endless crack, the sound of clothes agitating inside the wardrobe, the legs of a bird standing at my window this morning, digging them in the stone. It was a large animal with black feathers and huge, soft bulges all over its body. Is it me, or does every life that comes to visit me die soon after? The bird left when I simply tried to get closer. All I can do is continue listening. I can always hear something around me, as if the walls were making music for captive women. I feel sick. I can hear some metallic and regular steps, as if it were within my body. They stem from the gigantic spurs I feel around me. All of a sudden, they stopped. But the guard who feeds me is not going to die now. He will probably be rewarded with the other body. He stopped again. However, I hear two happy, merging laughs flying far away. I come closer in order to listen attentively how happy life is out there. The expected bliss, the kiss, the embrace, the crunch of bones, and the pleasure of women. A servant is arriving. Big towers produce big dreams. I dreamed about circular rooms in towers identical to this one, in which even guards locked themselves to escape their masters. The guard who was watching me was not the first to die here. Suddenly, I think it would be a waste of time if only a few of those men died. I am scared of what is inside my head when it feels the isolation. If I could go back to my life in the palace, I would gladly replace the guard's head driven on a black lance, with his belly cut open as well, with the image of a roast pheasant, or a waving red curtain in the bedchamber. I would be powerful enough as to avoid my imagination all this horror. Perhaps my life has always been like this, just training my imagination so as not to see anything. My main problem is that I am always listening. Unexpectedly, a new different sound you have never heard turns up. I can hear more steps, calmer steps. They only stop once and are accompanied by the buzz of laughter. I can recognize the laugh of a monster when it is so close. They have filled the bottom of the room with crowns, bracelets, chiffon, and chests as small as my hand. They have turned my bedchamber into a narrower place until it eventually ends up as a tiny offspring of the former room. Why do I also feel so tiny? It feels as if they have crushed every limb of my body. These men have not talked to me, and that has forced me to try and ask their names. They only make gestures with their black gloves in order to end this sort of ceremony orchestrated by the Duke. The taller of the two guards covered his mouth when he approached me. Again, it seemed that I released the odour of the animals which had stopped breathing. Then I have gently sat in front of the monstrous wedding dress. I thought that maybe my countenance would perfectly fit behind the veil. After all, it was the first time in days that I have not needed to cry, and that terrifies me. Have they removed that from me too? It feels as if I was already inside the dress, and my face, on the other side of my face, was similar to that of my captors. No one would be able to see it. Of course, I guess mine will be a wedding without mirrors, unless the prince arrives to get me. Every woman knows when someone has correctly guessed her size. I do not know how I will be able to sleep. In 2 days, the Duke will take me in his arms. A team of counsellors will be surrounding us. They will grab me by the ankles, or maybe they will smash them so I could fit into the dress, my train waving, while they stifle my weak cries. Or maybe I will not be able of muttering a single word. I hope that at least a woman will do my makeup. Will she have her hands gloved? Will she also have her face covered by a veil, so I still will be unaware who has participated in my sentence? The woman I do not know will put makeup on me, as they did to my mother many years ago, as they grabbed her by her arms and maybe had her bony ankles smashed as well, as they opened her jaw to force her to utter a cautious yes in the presence of the priest in the kingdom. Perhaps the old wives, who were also in this room, were forced not to say anything before the preparations have taken place. It is possible that such a great, beautiful, and worthy wedding as this one simply requires a wedding dress, all the gifts that fit inside a life, and a bride with her mouth sewn with silk thread, so no prince could ever unstitch it, because he arrived late. I cannot open my eyes, but I must be strong. I want to do what nobody would expect from me. I could clench my teeth and think of landscapes away from the pain and the white sadness. I do look inside of me. I can look now. I can finally see, my teeth even more clenched. Another memory in which I am very young and my father takes me to the gallery. in the underground area of my house. A dark room with a dim light full of presents, and they are all for me. There are even some wonderful beasts tied to the rings from the walls, but in the dark, even those horses look different to me, something to be very careful with. I remember standing on my father's shoulders. He's very old, and I can feel he has trouble in lifting me. And I just ask for the gift they have not brought. He would be laughing now if I told him I'm afraid to move, that I have not put on my wedding dress or played with any of the gifts the Duke has left for me. It is true. I know what torture is and where it is practiced. In those gloomy basements I went to get my presents when I was a little girl, but this tower is very high. It's almost at the gates of heaven. I guess what happened to me must be transparent to the light of day and to the birds. They are coming back to rest on my window. Are they looking at me? Do they really understand what happened to me? At dawn, the guards have cleaned up everything, including me. The Duke entered shortly afterwards and sat on a bed beside me. One by one, he has been taking the necklaces, putting them on my neck. The ivory headband, the cameo, the sandals, the makeup. In this sense, he is a very awkward man. He has placed them on my body where appropriate. Without uttering a word, I already knew something was not going well. He has not touched my wedding dress. I asked him why, and he gave a hint of a smile. He replied it would not be a good idea. He did not want to stain the train or the veil beforehand. Stain? I asked again. I cannot open my eyes, or perhaps I simply do not want to see myself. I still have a taste of blood in my mouth. I have not taken off my presents either, because the pain is something clenched teeth cannot avoid. At least they have covered the areas he has darkened with his hands. I am strong. I will keep looking deep inside of me. There must be more memories which can help me to stay away from this bedroom.
Nine, 8, 7, 6. Nine, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Break the doors of the wardrobe, knock over the bed, tear a brick from the wall next to the small window. That is how my new wounds appeared. Perhaps this pain would give me some relief. It means I am still strong. It means I am ready for whatever happens in the final minutes, before the party strokes and the showers of red petals. It does not even matter if they think I am too weak, or if they have ceased to feed me. They believe they will only have to carry me down the altar of the cathedral. My breathing body, thinner, is only able to nod. They will have to get my wedding dress fitted. But I know it would not be the last thing I am going to see. I am certain I would open my eyes when they think I cannot go on like this. I would ride the black horse that must come get me. Now, I would love to return to the first day of my confinement, mourning just like that first night, despite I have the feeling that I do not know how that is done anymore. That I have forgotten, having known other towers, white and eternal, with their doors unlocked. Am I insane enough so as to live inside one of my nightmares? I am not marrying him. Maybe they have opened the door of the tower while I sleep, to test that mice like me enjoy being locked up, ensuring there is a final moment when we no longer try to escape. I am not marrying him. I have torn the doors of the wardrobe off their hinges. The painting with the portrait of the Duke has seen better days. I have scratched it with my own hands, slowly. I did it as if I was ripping the skin of a man. I am not marrying him, I repeat to myself. I look at the blood on my hands. Maybe I could get used to my wounds. Sometimes sadness overcomes me, but there are also minutes in which I walk along the tower, restarting it again, knowing from where I could position myself, or what I should take to challenge the Duke. I still see it clearly. If I finally make a decision tonight, the Duke will not be able to use what is in between my legs. Of course. I can still have everything prepared, so he will not find anything inside of me. Everything is ready down there. Petals are covering the boots. The maids whisper venison recipes to each other. The guards wait at the door, making sure nobody enters and disrupts the words of the bishop. There is more music than ever, and the sound of the metallic throat of the organs reaches my bedroom. Everything sounds so human and transparent. It is even fair that some people cannot move a single thread of silk of our own lives. I say to myself that nobody has kidnapped me. This was my wedding. I will be joyful. Now, before the second hand reaches the hour, I approach the small window. I look at the prairie, clean from clouds. There it is. The kingdom and the lands, meant to be mine. It is as vast, flat and empty as it has always been. I sat down again and I extended my fingers. I have painted something that cannot be seen. It is my desire, my old music. If I were the god who lives up there, the man with the big hands, I could carve a brush and paint in black a horse ridden by a man. I would paint it right over the yellowish line, with the afternoon sun at his back. Of course, the brush would continue drawing. The horse would already be here. It would be neighing with its pencil muscles. Exactly. If I were that god up there, I would paint with my own hands, as big as the cosmos itself, at the one allegedly coming to rescue me. The last thing I would draw, with more detail, would be his hand, turning the key from the lock. They think I'm foolish, but I have been adding to my luggage everything I could. I started yesterday, secretly. In the middle of the night, I opened my eyes. And I knew it. I knew it as somebody who knows the dawn will arrive soon. I thought it would be beautiful to make something with my own hands, one last thing. So it has been. The shreds from the sheet, tied twice. some threads torn from the tapestry, and even a part of the curtains. The wedding dress veil has served well. It has finally helped me to make the last knot of the rope.
Eight, 7,
Doors of the wardrobe, knock over the bed, tear a brick from the wall next to the small window. That is how my new wounds appeared.
Riding the map to find you, bearing love so true to rescue my princess. Spending my nights so alone, without your love to stand from the start. Izzzyzzz, how much I love you, you are my princess, oh the dream of my life.
My warrior, I am your princess, over the shadows, I'm your lovely shining star.
Jump through the dragon cave, faster than the scroll, I run through the stage. conquer the flickering mold. I finish in quick flash of my soul. Anissa, how much I love you. You are my princess, oh the dream of my life. I traveled far for thee, just to lay by your side. Killed foes for thee, were just my sword and steed. Oh darling, wait for me, I know that our love can die. Anissa,